Hi, welcome to News Up Now. I'm Bryan Thompson. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller, who will head the investigation into President Trump's firing of FBI Director James Comey. The investigation comes following the disclosure the president asked Comey to drop the FBI probe of his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. Mr. Mueller will also conduct an inquiry into links between the Russian government and President Trump's campaign. Mueller has the authority to press criminal charges if necessary, and he can request additional resources to investigate Russian involvement if need be. President Trump first responded to the appointment of Mueller with a tweet. "This is the single greatest witch hunt of a politician in American history." Later, at luncheon with news anchors, he said, "I believe it hurts our country terribly because it shows we're divided, mixed up, and not a unified country." A woman is dead and 22 people injured after a car careened into Times Square in New York City. The driver of the out-of-control Honda Accord is in custody. He's 26-year-old Richard Rojas of the Bronx. Rojas was arrested twice before for drunk driving. The crash happened just before noon in the crowded square. 4 pedestrians were critically injured but are expected to survive. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio said there is no indication so far that the crash is an act of terrorism. Now a story to bring hope for many. A new development that can give doctors the ability to treat patients with conditions ranging from strokes to muscle disorders. Here's Jane Ross.
This newly developed glove could give doctors the ability to more accurately treat patients with conditions ranging from strokes to muscle disorders. Mike Crossley has cerebral palsy, a condition he's lived with since birth. One of the main symptoms of the condition is muscle stiffness, and up until now doctors used a physical examination to assess the degree of his muscle stiffness to decide on medications and therapies.
When I was in the hospital.
But according to Dr. Andrew Skalski, a touch and feel exam provides inconsistent and often inaccurate results.
It's a very subjective process, and when we're trying to remember from time to time, it might be 3 months since we last saw that patient. And so we're like, oh, are they a little better, are they a little worse? And the scale is just not good enough to differentiate that. And so they might be a lot better, but their number on the scale is no different.
And we take all the 300.
This is where the glove comes in. It's packed with finely tuned sensors that measure the force and speed needed to move a patient's limbs far more accurately than conventional examinations. Harinat Garadatri is developing the technology.
This technology will provide objective metrics that they can refine their diagnosis and refine their interventions.
Researchers say the high-tech glove could potentially be used in other cases that rely on a doctor's touch and feel to assess a patient's condition. The scientists are still working on the glove, but the hope is that in the not-too-distant future, doctors will have a new tool to better diagnose and treat their patients.
European Union antitrust regulator have fined Facebook on €110 million for giving misleading information during a vetting of its deal to acquire message service WhatsApp in 2014. Sarah Lee has more on these series of legal clashes.
It's not even 0.5% of Facebook's annual turnover. The €110 million fine from EU antitrust regulators is a lot less than it could have been. The Commission says that's because Facebook's cooperated fully with proceedings. The social media giant was handed the penalty for giving misleading information during the vetting of its deal to acquire messaging service WhatsApp in 2014. Facebook ruled out automatically matching user accounts on its namesake platform and WhatsApp, but 2 years later launched a service that did exactly that.
We believe that considering all elements in the fine calculation, including the deterrence effect, the fine imposed on Facebook of €110 million is indeed proportionate in light of Facebook's turnover. And I would also point to the fact that the fine is the highest fine we have ever imposed for an infringement of the procedural infringement in a merger case.
Facebook said in a statement that errors made in its 2014 filings were unintentional and would make no difference to the deal. But it's the latest in a string of fines imposed on Facebook. A French watchdog took €150,000 for failing to prevent its users' data being accessed by advertisers. And just last week, the Italian authorities levied €3 million on WhatsApp for allegedly obliging users to share their personal data with Facebook.
In San Jose, cleaning crews are mopping and spraying common areas infected by a bug that left 368 students sickened at 14 schools in San Jose Unified School District. The outbreak began around May 4th, and now district officials estimate more than 200 students had been sickened by the outbreak. So far, no teachers or staff have reported catching the virus. The symptoms include vomiting and diarrhea, according to Santa Clara County Public Health Department. Officials are asking any parents with a student showing symptoms should keep their kids at home for at least 48 hours. That's all for this hour. I'm Bryan Thompson. Thanks for watching.